of reckoning. The resurgent Bombers taking off with new direction.
Talk of an exclamation mark! Oh!
And Carlton, where the tide of expectation rises every season, and anything less than victory will be deemed failure.
It is raining Carlton goals.
They're the best of enemies. Carlton and Essendon, they share a deep-seated rivalry and long memories.
Bill's lost his headband now. Yeah, that's
There's the siren. Victory for the Bombers. He's lost it, and Murphy takes it away. Carlton is into the grand final.
There's no better feeling than nailing the arch enemy. Carlton's success-starved supporters have been promised their first finals win for 10 years. Now they must deliver. Essendon knows that finals floggings leave a bitter taste.
So Adelaide win by a record margin.
And wouldn't they love to extinguish the Blues' premiership hopes?
That could redefine this football club.
Today's plot is a timeless story.
That's it. It's a draw.
Two proud and famous clubs yearning to regain their greatness.
What a goal.
To be up where they belong.
Judd, brilliant.
This is cutthroat finals football.
Lee, what do you reckon they'll be feeling right now?
Well, it's the moment of truth. It's a long season. You get to September, all the mental demons are floating around, all the uncertainties, all the what's going to happen next. But that's the competitor's challenge, to overcome all that periphery and go and perform.
So here's the lineup. Fletcher comes back. Dennis has mentioned 23rd final equals Tim. Only Bill Hutchison and Dick Reynolds have played in more finals for the Bombers, and Heath Hocking. But Hurley was mentioned, wasn't he, by James Hird? Only his second final. He's kicked 8 goals in his last 2 matches this season against the Dogs and also against Port Adelaide. You reckon when things are tough, he's the go-to man, don't you? You think he could stick a mark and kick a goal under pressure?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there are really good conditions out there for him, and just the way he's been launching at the ball has just been outstanding of late.
The Blues looking at their selections this week. 4 changes. Matthew Cruiser is injured. Jared Waite was never a chance. Kate Simpson has got a remarkable streak going. It's now 143 consecutive games, which is a Carlton club record. He's coming off a career high of 40 possessions in that loss against the Saints. So, despite his age, he's not that old, of course, but he's in stellar form. The first elimination final, the last final of the weekend. Winner goes to Perth, and away we go. So the ruckman touched the ball right or a half chance. Murphy, little looping hand pass over the top. Dygan dragged off the football. Well done by Stanton. Feeds it back, taken by Myers. Myers goes down towards half forward. Yaron hit the ball hard. In trouble, Dygan. Down he goes. Watson got him. And the umpire calls for it.
Interesting matchups down the Carlton forward line. Thornton starting forward. Mitch Robinson trying to tag Fletcher. Fletcher trying to get to Thornton.
Warnock knocks it down, goes after his own ball, immediately claimed, and the umpire will do it again.
It's interesting when that happens in that situation where Robinson's trying to get to Fletcher, as you said, Tom, and then Thornton and Heppel's then able to float clear. So if Fletcher can be disciplined on Thornton, it becomes a real plus for Essendon.
Just outside the 50, Ryder goes up, wins decisively. Bombers on the attack. Joseph does brilliantly. Spins out of trouble. High ball towards the wing. Loose at the back. It's gathered by Betts. He's away. Sends it down towards half forward. Robinson tracks the ball towards the attacking 50. Looks inside. Measures the kick on the bounce. O'Halpin back to Betts. He's run a mile. He had the ball at half-back, took the stab, kicks it behind.
We highlighted Hardigan before the game, and the matchup eventuated on Betts exactly for that reason, to take marks and not get the ball to the ground, drop the mark. We saw what Betts can do.
Dangerous kick out. Gee, that's a good effort by Simpson. To Murphy, and Murphy, beautiful kick to O'Halpin.
Kick.
And a little juke from the Irishman there. Fist pump.
It's always a bit demoralising when the kick-in goes straight to the opposition like that, because it just bounces back so quickly. The defence is completely outpositioned.
He's Astorio Halpin. He didn't play for 11 matches until the Saints. He kicked 4 against the Saints. So he's been accurate from set shots. He's one of those players, through his career, he's had bursts of a good month, has been unable to sustain a big season. But when he's going, he's a dangerous player. Yeah. After all of that, he misses. On a windy day, Carlton with the scoring end have had 2 shots, both gettable, and they lead by 2 behinds.
It really does put the pressure on, doesn't it, to come back into a team after missing so much footy. And suddenly, you get that first kick at goal. All the pressure comes down on his shoulders at the back of the pack. Joseph with somebody quickly down on him. That was Monfries. Ball just trickles a couple of metres away, and the umpire again will bounce it. So a few stoppages to start proceedings on this Sunday afternoon, and there's an indication of the breeze whipping across the ground. Warnock doing well, puts it wide for Judd. Now here's a chance. Judd runs to 50. Is it the fairy tale start? Not quite.
This was ominous, though. Exactly what Luke Hodge spoke about before the game. Bursting at the stoppage. Essendon players lost the touch and feel and then didn't have the other player in front to block the run, and that's the damage he can do.
I think it's about the sweetest kick he's kicked all year, to be honest. He struck that perfectly, but it didn't result in a goal. Yaron brilliantly on Jezza, and again they've missed. Well, Betts and Judd weren't easy. Yaron pretty easy, and no Halpin the same. So 4 shots.
It's early in the game, but the way the wind's blowing up there is no such thing as an easy shot. That ball is going to be blown everywhere off course.
Fletcher took a chance, but Myers was okay. Kicks to a contest. They're playing corridor footy. Davey, he's not at full speed yet, and they've got him. Who had the footy? Well, he was going half pace, Davey. It's a free to Carlton, I think.
Wow.
Had to be holding the ball.
What was he doing?
No, what's holding?
He was in cruise control, wasn't it?
It was like he was running in camembert cheese.
He was running into the wind.
Well, that's how strong it is.
So Carlton bring it out. Davey, eh? We've said before, more dangerous without the ball than with it. Close to the boundary line. Opportunity for O'Halpin. Keeps it alive, at least initially. Pears taken down by Dygan. And the umpire calls for it.
It's great chase. Exactly what Brett Rattler would want to see from Mark Murphy.
Murphy is quick by the same token. Robert Murray, Ryder, Watson in trouble. Ball spills from Warnock towards Murphy. He couldn't control it. Carranza was there, and the ball's out of bounds.
Judd's off. Gibbs actually started the game on the bench, and Gibbs is the player who's gone into the midfield for Carlton.
So Carlton, the flurry of points, lead by those 4, taken by Watson directly onto the chest of Dygan.
One of the many great stories that you have each year, Dygan. Touched off the boot. 27-year-old in his first season. Garland, Carrazzo decides to bomb a high ball in. Thornton, Robinson, O'Halpin was at the back. Robinson to Thornton. Tried to tap it onto Walker. Simpson couldn't quite get down. Pears. Robinson's busy early. Good-looking kick. And another behind. They're not missing by much, but they are missing. And Luke Hodge is looking on and thinking, didn't we do this on Friday night? Kick a lot of points in the opening term?
Myers outside the defensive 50. And sometimes the start, the first 5 minutes or so, doesn't stand for much. It really just tells you who perhaps is emotionally up, at least in the short term. Quite often, one team or other takes a while to settle down. Heppel gets it from Hill, goes to half forward. This is Hurley, like a waiter with room service, but then smothered off his boot, goes out of bounds. Dygan getting there.
Just see Michael Hurley on screen, elected to take the ball on his chest. Would have loved to have seen him out with arms stretched. Plunk the mark.
He'll learn from that. He's good enough. What a star. We said earlier, so versatile. Lovett Murray gets a second chance and onto the chest of Carlisle, if you don't mind.
It's the value of the quick forward. Most of the time, the forwards can actually read it better. What's that basic principle? Defender has to have one eye on his opponent, whereas the forward should be able to be first to react to that kind of quick kick forward.
So, 5 behinds at the other end, including a poster on the run from Chris Judd from long range. Suddenly, with one scoring shot here, they could take the lead, the Bombers. And they have. The irony of the beginning.
Terrific temperament there from Carlisle to take his opportunity. We've commented that Carlton have had the 5 shots and they've been playing with really high energy, the Blues at the moment, and kicking at goal with high energy, sort of spraying it quite sporadically, but really getting the opportunity, taking a good contested mark, as Lee said, preempting where the ball's going to be, initiate the forward play and go back and kick the goal.
So the scoreboard tells the tale, doesn't it? Carlisle, of course, in that forward 50. The last time he played against Carlton, Walker was high on his shoulders, taking the screamer of the year. So the Blues trail by a point after having 5 scoring shots early. Murphy held on to by Hocking. Hocking getting down low and dirty. He likes all that. Ellard with him. Baller.
Let him up, please.
So we all settle now, don't we? I mean, scores are about level, even though Carlton have had the most of it. About 70% to 30 in the forward half. Third man up affected there. Monfils just couldn't get a handle. Scotland, Gibbs, Ellard slow. Hurley's got him. And I think it'll be a baller.
Just the intensity we saw with young Shuey with West Coast yesterday. And now Ellard, and a great tackle from Heppel. Just the intensity of finals footy, it's up. You've got to take the first option.
Bounce down towards half forward for the Bombers, who lead by a point. Wide of the pack, it's picked up by Melksham. Down towards full forward, Jamieson. Well, possibly his first fitness test of the afternoon. Passed it with flying colours. Yaron goes back to the opposite pocket. Laidler. What a fine acquisition he's been this season from the Cats. Just slotted in from day one. He kicks to the outer side. Missed by Judd. Gathered by Ryder. Kept coming. Heppel got it from Stanton. The short one to Remus.
And that was the first option. If you look at Heppel there, just the 2 steps and got the ball off really balanced. Didn't try to overcomplicate things.
Interesting, Remus has got the Yaron match-up, and Yaron is going to run the ball out of defence at every opportunity. I think it probably partly is a defensive role, but partly Remus can demand the footy and will test Yaron's ability to actually defend.
Distance won't be a problem. Kyle Remus, young West Australian, goes from 50, and that is very precise. 2 kicks, 2 goals. Essendon skip away.
Yes, you can have the shots, but there's a lot of things that build into winning a game of footy. Taking your shots from an accuracy point of view is pretty high up the list, and clearly that's what's happened in the early part of the game. Carlton had a few shots, have missed them all. Essendon got a couple of goals.
Matching them well at the moment. The Bombers in the clearances also lead 5-2.
Yeah.
And Hocking is the run-with player with Judd.
Really made his mark when he kicked the 8 against the Suns early in the season, didn't he? And he's been a regular since then. 26 goals this year. Really finding his feet after about 4 seasons. So another clearance this time. Howlett, Armfield, Davey. Armfield wide, Murphy. He made it a good bounce, Murphy. He started well. Hook around the corners of beauty to Ellard. Davey quickly onto the mark. So Carlton just need to steady here. They've had plenty of footy, we know that, but they're a goal and a bit down. Long ball in. Betts was lurking. Well done, though, by Hardingham. Belted it away. Hocking gets some distance to a contest. Remus taken down in the tackle by Joseph. McVeigh fended off cleverly. Carlisle ricochets off him. Murphy. Oh, caught. Gone.
Legged.
Oh, it's Murphy's free kick.
Just slipped down a bit.
Unfortunate. Had him cold. It hadn't been for that.
Yeah, that's fair call. And then Yaron forced wide, kicks the ball out on the full. But there's Yaron, and also Remus will be not only standing in, he'll be in his face as well.
Good follow-up there by Kyle Remus. Gave away the free kick, straight back on and put the pressure on to Yaron.
Pears, meantime, goes short. Zaharakis. He's really come on this season. Almost an elite midfielder now. Drives it down towards the attacking 50. Henderson does well. Thought about going. Can't. He was well thought of the mark. Now slips a hand pass away to Yaron. Yaron runs the outer side again. Ambitious run down by Ryder. A much taller man. Certainly not the slower man that time. Did brilliantly to Myers. Myers a penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Henderson goes back, knocks it down. Monfrey's a chance. Vacant goal. Puts it through. They've got 3.
Well, finals pressure test a lot of players. I think Chris Yaron is exactly the player that's been tested the most. Reamer's got that goal on him. Came out of defence, kicked one out of bounds. Came out of defence, got ran down from behind. He just has to live in the moment. He has to be able to ignore what's happened the first few minutes, continue to play his game without being scared of making mistakes.
It's a high-pressure game at the moment. Chris Yaron's had a forgettable last 3 or 4 minutes, but just the pressure, Essendon really exerting it around the contest, and 90,000 people here, and Angus Monfrey's enjoyed every bit of that.
Just 3 goals in his last 6 matches, Monfrey's, but he's been playing more high half-forward midfield. So Carlton suddenly 13 points behind. And here's the next goal. Heppel over the top, and it's going to be a ball.
I mentioned that point before, Tom, of Chris Yaron, who's made a few mistakes. That living in the moment rather than thinking what just happened a minute or 2 ago. It's a challenge every week, let alone finals.
So the clearance for the Bombers. Armfield with pace. Jetta. Stanton helped to corral. Armfield's done well here and kept the ball in. Walker attacked it hard, and the Betts was lurking.
Just looking down at that Carlton forward line at the minute, you got Walker, Betts, Robinson, who's playing negative on Fletcher, Thornton and Ellard. There's no marking targets down there. Their last forward entry they bombed. They're not going to be able to do that.
Boundary throw in. O'Halpin. Heppel left it behind. Not so Watson. Did brilliantly. Lovely kick to a little chip to the wing. Honoured the lead coming from Ryder, who wheels around. Told to play on now. Goes down towards the 50. Up comes Hill. Hill about 75 metres from goal. Laidler was there. Put him down. Now it's going to be a relayed free kick, isn't it? He took him high. So a relayed free kick.
He had kicked the ball on play.
About 25 metres out for Reamers. So after a string of behinds, Essendon have got 3 straight goals. So far, they've been like Matthew McConaughey in a singles bar. They can't miss. Reamers. Just inside the far post, you would think. Well, he actually took me at my word. I'm at goalpost. He's got it right out to the right.
I think the Bombers are winning the mental battle at the moment. I think Carlton taking their eye off the ball. That hit by Laidler is a classic example. He's got to win the ball at the coalface.
Jamison with the aid, maybe that breeze has kicked the ball almost, in fact, now over the centre square. In the circle where they bounce the ball, Fletcher around the corner. Zaharakis, he's got Watson and he uses him. And then Watson with another lovely kick. He's finding targets, Watson. It's Carlisle who kicked the opening goal. Hurley underneath. Henderson. Milsham got it from Zaharakis. Back to Carlisle. Davey sets himself. He won't go. He'll wait down. Jetta. Gibbs. Ellard. Back to Henderson. Henderson doesn't get much on the kick. Carlisle, good start for him. Back to Zaharakis. He just fell over the wrong time. Betts puts the tackle on. Milsham keeps a bit of control. Now the ball's got to come out and it'll be a ball up. So Essendon in their forward 50 or right on the cusp and lead 19-5.
Playing with a lot of energy now, the Bombers. It'll be hard to get back in the box. Carlton really have to work double time here. Here's Watson with other ideas against the boundary and just misses. Gee, that was a nice kick.
Would have been the impossible kick given the breeze.
Yep. The Bombers with 7 of the last inside 50s. Gibbs. Nice kick outside the 50. Hill affected the pack, knocked it down in front, taken by Simpson, kicks it up towards the wing. Myers has had a fair bit of the footy, running out of space there. Not sure what he was thinking. Just bullocked across the line, boundary throw-in.
Essendon defended that kick in with relatively a man-to-man approach. I think that's part of just making sure that Carlton can't get clear and link up running-wise.
9 minutes out from quarter time. Melksham onto the loose ball, dragged down. Carranzo on top, and the umpire will ball it up. Chris Judd hasn't had a lot of the football so far. Just the one kick hit the post. Having said that, the way he got the ball was enough to send shivers up the Bomber fan spines. Armfield at close quarters. Scotland gives it back to Yaron. Yaron goes with the outside of the boot into the path of Garlett. Garlett runs to the 50, spots a man on the move. O'Halpin couldn't hang on. Loose ball, Pears and O'Halpin close to the boundary line. Taken across by Myers. Well disguised, well played. Throw-in coming up.
Got to hit their targets, so Richard talked about.
I wonder whether Garlett should have used his speed and taken off anyway. Tried to have a go himself.
Warnock, well read by Melksham. And then comes out wide, a defensive kick. Murphy couldn't quite take the mark. Scotland, back turn was good. Joseph will probably go back to Judd and Ryder, who's had to not a lot of the ball, but he's done some good things, chasing down Yaron and that, and a couple of other things.
Just early stages, Hill and Ryder look a little bit more dangerous in that ruck combination. You know, the combination of what happens in the air and then what happens at ground level in the flow.
So Judd, a quiety start. That kick a goal might have made a difference had it gone through. Warnock belting forward, Fletcher in the front. Doesn't fall over too often, Fletcher, but that, well, he's found touch for how many times do you reckon, Dennis, in his career? About 5,000, I would have thought.
Well, could even be more, Bruce, because he had a rule change in there as well, which made it more difficult to do. When he first started, it was almost carte blanche. From the boundary throw-in, Carranzo, Gibbs off his step inside the forward 50. Coming hard, Robinson, well done. That was terrific. Robinson wanted it most. Now he's got a problem. Dragged to the ground. Zaharakis gave it to Fletcher. That was a fine tackle earlier by Lovett Murray. Ball bounces towards the outer side. Yaron, that was good under pressure. Sweeping hand pass out wide came from Gibbs. Now an opportunity for Gibbs as he sends it long down towards full forward. Punched from behind by Pears. On his knees, Thornton. Pears, full revolution. Well done, Lovett Murray. Well done, Fletcher. Well, about 5 metres worth of well done. Carranzo across the body, and the mark is taken by O'Halpin. Wants to go. It was a touch. Not for his sake. He's got the goal.
Well, sometimes we try to be mind readers, so we do exactly what happened then. He did not want the pressure.
Yep.
He was going to have a shot firstly from the goal square.
Geez, that was hard in mouth when he played on.
He said, I just want to get rid of this pressure. I'm playing on having a snap.
He's
made it.
More keen to just have the split second of pressure on the snap than the 90 seconds to line up for the shot on goal. Energy's certainly there from Satandra Halpin at the moment.
This is exactly the all's well, it ends well. But if that had been touched off the boot, it just, I mean, it was a bad decision.
Yep.
It ended up okay, but it was a poor decision to play on from about 8 metres out from goal.
He's been playing his first final today, Satanda. So he's had a couple of shots on goal and he's been nervy, but he has scored. Hocking belts it forward, kicking it out of the air. Hurley, lovely pick up, takes Henderson on and sprays it. Good movement by Hurley, though, at full pace there. So their last 4 scoring shots behind. Now Scotland, Betts. Now he's got Walker on his own, 20 metres from goal. He's still on his own, 20 metres from goal. Armfield's going to finally get to him and got him. Is it 50?
Just unfortunately, he was actually on his own in the goal square, but the kick was enough that the ball was forced away from the like that key point-blank range.
There's an extra hand pass also. I don't think it needed to go one further to Armfield.
30 goals, 7 from set shots. This is a tough one, though. He improves the angle. and kicks the goal. Carlton coming back strongly now.
Really impressive kick there by Andrew Walkoff, and you go across the body or the drop punt, but he actually just came out and sort of hooked in the drop punch.
Good kick. And the setting from Yaron, when he'd gone down the middle a couple of times, they're risky if you can't make it. So he saw that Joseph had got a bit clear, took the punt, and as soon as they got out 50 to 60 metres with a bit of run and flow, the overlap was able to get behind the Essendon press.
Yeah, Chris Judd's had a quietish start, but Hocking is wearing him like a glove. Just watching around the stoppages at the moment, I haven't seen a lot of his Carlton teammates trying to put some blocks on Heath Hocking. He needs a little bit of help there, no doubt.
Margin 5 points now. Bombers on top at Carlton. They've enjoyed a good period of play with some accuracy. Warnock forcing forward. Standing his ground is Heppel. Trying to crash his way through is Walker, who got that last goal, and the umpire will again bounce it up. Seen a lot of that this afternoon.
Judd come off the back of the centre square there just to try and mess up the Essendon matchups a little.
Ryder wins it down. Hocking put the body in. Comes wide to Heppel. Goes back to Fletcher. Fletcher the high ball towards the wing. Difficult one. The breeze actually took it away from the two who thought they were in best position. Monfries took the mark and he was almost setting up to Crum. He sends it down towards the 50. Wonderful. Hurley breaks away. Centering kick. Can Remus get there? No. Taken by Joseph. How was that for a mark? Tricky conditions. One-hander if you don't mind.
Got Walker long here.
With the club record streak of consecutive games. The kick from Simpson comes towards Walker. Punched down in front by Walker. Cast in the role eventually of a defender. Great shepherd from Walker. Release Carazzo. Kicks it up towards half forward. Hardingham to Zaharakis. Throw.
So the advantage to Warnock, who's behind the plate. Gee, look at the distance there. That's a great kick over the top. And Garlick surely
Just kicked to space. That was a fantastic kick there by Warnock. You wouldn't isolate Garlick one-on-one like that with a long ball in, but he just had the space to work in, and the kick certainly took him there.
It's the throw that got that free kick. It was a handball,
It's a hand
wasn't
pass.
it? Throw.
Poor call.
Geez, a long kick, Warnock, but that one, I reckon, really hit the sweet spot. Probably got the wind as well.
No doubt they've got the wind behind them in this quarter, Carlton. It's been a twist, hasn't it? They couldn't kick a goal early and Essendon couldn't miss, and suddenly it's the reverse. This will be, again, a very good kick, and he's kept it low and he's done it. The Blues are in front again.
Just get the sense in that when the ball starts to flow a little bit, that's when Carlton are at their best, isn't it? When they've just got enough midfield runners, if they can get into a little bit of space. I think that's their slight edge over Essendon, if that becomes a factor in the game.
It's not the long kick into the contest, it's the long kick in with speed into a bit of space into one-on-one. Slightly different to having Keith marking targets.
Looking forward to that one too. Hawthorn and the Sydney Swans. Very impressive last night, Sydney.
Pop Jamison over onto Hurley. It's an early call to swap the defensive matchup.
Warnock has been pretty good. Wins this one down. We've got a whistle, and it's going to be a holding free against the Bombers. It'll go to Murphy. Murphy in the centre circle. Drives it down towards half forward. Hangs a long time in the air. Free kick will go to Heppel against Gibbs. So Heppel in his defensive 50.
See, that's an enticing matchup, Gibbs and Heppel, isn't it? The great number one against the rising star. That's not a good kick by Heppel. Henderson, Armfield, a hard runner, kicks the ball to the pocket.
Oh.
Clever. Garlick was there. Armfield raised his eyes.
It was a really clever goal that Garlick kicked just before when he punched it low. Obviously different pocket this time, but the breeze should favour.
But he's in the Walker pocket. He's further out, similar angle.
Keep coming, Jeff!
I'll back him in from here.
Just so important that Garlick got a good start today. You want Betts also to get an early goal, don't you? Walker's got it, Garlick's got it. Let's see how he plays this one. It's a good kick. That is a great kick. Well, Garlick has stamped himself on this match, hasn't he? 2 goals from pockets.
He would be a nightmare to play him, I reckon, little Garland. He's just so quick and lively. Just at the moment, when the ball is when there's a quick rebound from a midfield turnover, he's getting out into space.
His buddy's cousin, and remember Friday night?
Same pocket.
Got a bit of a kick.
Terrific kick, great confidence to have a go from there, keeping the ball low. Career high 6 goals against the Bombers last year. Eddie Betts 8 goals against the Bombers.
It's a great shot, isn't it?
Well, we'll see a lot of goals kicked over the coming weeks of the finals. Doubt we'll see many better than that one as the ball runs inside the forward 50 for the Bombers, getting back Jamieson. Suddenly a sense of confidence. Even with Yaron, that's a beautiful ball coming out. Within the path of Dygan, runs the outer side wing. Coming on the angle is Watson. Dygan pulls it around the corner. O'Halpin won't get there in time. Crashing the pack and doing well was Hill. Now a chance for the Bombers. Pearce goes back to Watson. Gives it across to the veteran. And Fletcher finds Hill. Hill just jabs it to the wing, and the mark is taken by Monfries. Just got to take control of this game. Get control back, Essendon. They had it early. After that initial onslaught by the Blues. So 5 minutes in, they grab control, but it's gone again. This is Laidler. Kicks beyond the wing. Hill in best position. Outmaneuvered. Well, they had 2 quality players there, Essendon. Gibbs took the mark. Some indecision. Lack of understanding. Call it what you like. Walker snaps towards goal. Has he got the angles right? Hardingham is down there. Tackle from behind. Had it a long time. Jarred out of there. Picked up by Myers. Myers straight to Gibbs.
Hardingham just need to get the ball through the behind post.
He can go all the way here, Gibbs. I mean, this is right where he'd like it, with a bit of breeze behind him. He could slot this for sure.
Just got to be careful, don't you? The quick kick out of defence has to go really wide. You have to test the out-of-bounds rule a little bit and kick it within 5 or 10 metres of the boundary. Down the centre corridor a bit, you're in trouble.
Started interchange, as Tom said. Been playing basically at half forward on Heppel. Had a bit of the ball late in the quarter. He's a beautiful kick. Well, he hasn't done well there, so he's missed the lot. But Carlton with a terrific finish there. They had all the scoring early, couldn't buy a goal. Essendon kicked 3, but Carlton have come back strongly, admittedly with a scoring end.
Start of the second term. His Blues up by 7. Wide of the pack. Judd got a hand to it. Stanton was coming off the line. Ellard going nowhere. Ryder only as far as Warnock, who battles on. Warnock well done on the ground. Fights a draw.
You mentioned the Pearce and Collier coming in. It's not such a bad thing. Structurally, I don't think Pearce being out will hurt Essendon too much. What will hurt them is Carlton's leg speed around the ground. Collier can add a bit there.
Well, I'll take Pearce. He's had a terrible run, hasn't he, with injuries. In the past, a couple of serious injuries. In trouble. Murphy hit the ground hard. Picked up by Ellard. Kicks it down towards half forward. Bounces on its point. Knocked out of there by Myers. Stanton over the top. Fletcher with some time. Taking all of it too. Under pressure now. Gets the kick off though. Intended for Melksham. Went past him. Yaron held without by Jeddah. Play on's the call. Over the football, Joseph just paddles it across towards Scotland. Scotland to Yaron. Yaron not his best effort. A very high kick. They wait for it to come down. And the man who made it his own was Thornton. Launching himself from behind. Little chip out wide. Now Scotland, generally a good user of the ball. Plenty of time to the pocket. And he finds Walker. And the kick wasn't bad, but the effort of Walker was even better. Body to body.
He had the size advantage over Heppel and used it well with just his leverage.
Myers needed to go there.
I have fond memories of this pocket, of course. This is where he took the mark over Carlisle. Late in the season. Kick is on the way, and again it misses to the near side. So that's the form coming out of that pocket. I've said it before, it is a very hard goal to kick.
Fletcher quite often actually goes long down the middle. Let's see if he's winded his back, how he goes about it. Not this time.
Gee, Myers looked a bit short when he first kicked it. So Myers on the wrong side for him, and that's slow to Hardingham. Can't quite take the mark. who's the only player that didn't have a disposal in the opening term, Hardigan. High ball in. O'Halpin. Love it. Murray had a bit of it, the Irishman. And then sprays it. Had a bit more time, I think, than he realised at the end.
He does kick those snaps really aggressively, even with the goal he got from 10 metres out down the other end. Just kicks it really hard, and I guess when you kick it that hard, you're more of a chance to spray it also.
He's had 3 shots on goal. Now that's a good kick. That is a good kick and a great result. Myers running onto it. And then a little kick, okay. Back from Hurley to Myers. Jamison to try and corral him. Myers, Jetta versus Yaron. Jetta got a hand to it. Yaron sweats on him. No free kick. Good decision, I think. Henderson over the top. That ball now slinging out. And Hurley can't keep it in, but Essendon get it out of the danger zone for the moment.
Just on that kick in, what Carlton did so well in the last quarter was get there and then get over the top. Here's the tackle from Yaron. That's a really pleasing thing to see. Essendon don't have that same leg speed inside their forward 50.
Margin 9 points. Judd from the clearance kicks it up towards the wing. Myers has been good to Heppel. Confronted by Murphy. Can't take any liberties there. Kick not good. Gibbs. Punishing kick towards right half forward. Robinson now in behind the defence. A chipping kick intended for Walker. Too far away from him. And maybe the breeze just pushing that ball too close to the goals there. Robinson acknowledging, my bad. I speak it, Bruce, that stuff.
Then they started like they did the opening term with a lot of points, Carlton, in a different way. Well done, Watson to Monfries. That was clever enough, though. Lovett Murray had not 1 but 3 to beat, and he's gone. Carazzo. He's only played a couple of the last 8 matches, Carazzo. Kicks the ball in. O'Halpin again. Hardingham just hasn't been able to get hold of it yet. And that's a free kick against the Blues.
Thank you. Clear it out now.
So Stanton to Milsham. She's a good player, Milsham. Second season player. Was the high draft pick in his first year. That's a good kick to Hocking. Has some space now. Jetta's the go-to. Yaron's quick, though. And there's the kick to Jetta. The shades of Garlett in the first quarter, wasn't it?
Exactly the same. It's just so hard to defend that one coming back.
Actually, that was interesting. But back they go to Collier. So Jetta didn't want to do a Garlett and kick from the pocket and goes back, and Collier now can have the shot.
See, when 2 players are running back with the flight of the ball, it's always the forward who sees to get it because he's got his eyes firmly on the footy. The defender's just not sure what he's trying to be protecting.
So Collier had such a big impact against Port Adelaide when he came on as the sub in round 23. Well, that's how O'Halpin kicked from there in the opening term.
In that situation, Lee, when you are the defender, you almost have to preempt where the ball's going to end up. So if you just trail your forward, they'll make the play. You've almost got to initiate and play as if you were the forward.
See what, that singles bar's not looking good at the moment, Dennis. It's very, very hard to kick a goal.
Driven towards the outer side. Warnock's in front, like his game. Ellard drives it long. Walker goes back. Robinson is on. Deeper still is Garlett. Garlett is about 15 metres in front of Hardingham. Not required. Robinson goes in and kicks the goal.
That's a good way to win. There's been an interesting contest going on. Robinson's trying to get Fletcher. Fletcher was trying to get onto O'Halpin, so to try and just drop that defensive. But whenever the defensive forward is able to run onto and kick a goal, it's a great morale booster, isn't it?
Second coast-to-coast goal for the Blues. Pushing their half-forwards right up, getting Garlett up, getting Betts up, getting Robinson up and going over the top, using the leg speed.
Took it on then, Robinson. Almost got him, Fletcher.
It's been a good turnaround. They trailed by 15 points in the opening term, Carlton. They now lead by that margin. So 5-goal turnaround here, Ryder.
Kick Essendon.
Block.
Yeah, you jumped into him, blocked him.
Need a big game from Ryder, the Bombers. Kicks the ball to, well, I was going to say contest. It wasn't in the end. Hurley belts it out. Scotland. Tackled by Remus. Well, in the end, high.
Flipped up high. Push out.
Yaron the go-to man with that run and bounce. Good mark, Thornton, his second good mark in this quarter. Murphy, it's opening up for the Blues. Garland. They're looking dangerous as they're going forward every time now. Garland had to slow it down. Then he kicks to full forward. Walker. Tapped away by Hardingham. Gibbs. Now Walker, if he gets the bounce. Still with Walker. Back to Judd. Judd flicks it back to Simpson. Now he's a left footer. Back he goes. Murphy can kick a goal. Well, I'm not sure what he was thinking there, Murphy. He was on the back foot. Had he run hard and stabbed it through, but he's missed.
Essendon have taken none. They haven't been able to chop off any of Carlton's forward thrusts. Part of that's due to Robinson playing that tag on Fletcher. He's normally the man doing that.
Locking to Myers, who kicks to the outer side. It's going to be a free kick. Reamers will get it. 10 of the last 11 scoring shots in this one to the Blues, and that's ominous. Reamers jabs it forward. Carlisle, defensive side of the wing. Zaharakis, they need more from him. Zaharakis, a little chip towards half forward, made it very difficult for Hurley. Mark is taken by Jamison. Jamison comes back to Dygan.
He's moving to right, Jamison. I saw him, a bit of vision of him last night. He looked like a cripple, but
yeah, he did.
He's got out there and he's playing okay, moving well.
Scotland into the path of Dygan. Dygan close to the boundary line, hugs that boundary line. Betts, what a beautiful kick. Betts sends it towards the attacking 50, and strength again in the contest. Thornton takes the mark opposed to Stanton.
Already up to their season average of 12 contested marks. Essendon, when they were in the game, were relying on winning the one-on-one contest, getting smashed in contested possession at the moment. They can't afford to lose that particular statistic to the Blues.
No. If you're a Bombers fan, this is getting dangerous now. The goal here. And they really have to find something in quickly. Thornton gives it a ride. It's a beautiful looking kick. How about that one? The veteran puts it through. Alarm bell sounding for Essendon.
Carlton's point of difference typically is their speed around the ground. We've seen that used to great effect with the likes of Garland, Betts to a lesser extent, Walker also playing forward. So what Essendon needed to do was actually really dominate the contested ball, keep the ball and the game in a really strong contested situation. But at the moment, Carlton dominating that statistic, and then as a result being able to get the ball out in space, and it's looking pretty ominous as we doubled the score for the Blues over the Bombers.
It's been good, Thornton. 3 marks in this quarter. First time he's ever scored a goal against the Bombers. It's his 15th game against them, but he's been a defender basically all his life.
He sometimes plays that third tall forward, or sometimes in defence he floats back and forwards.
Kicked 4 goals early in the year against the Suns. Watson can't break the tackle. Gibbs, Ellard, and then did well. Ellard got on his knees and then fetched the football. Kicks the ball to full forward. Carlisle dropped it down, so he's in the defensive bit, and then well done Betts to Thornton to Garland, who's got a hat-trick. And they're 5 goals in front in a hurry.
Yes, and they're doing it the way you normally win games of footy. If you win the contested possession, you can win the tackle count, you usually would on the scoreboard, and Carlton are now dominating both of those, particularly the contested possession, 60 to 44. They're winning all the footy now.
Well, it's a quick centre clearance again, and I mean, it's not rocket science, but you get the ball deep inside your forward 50, but Carlton are doing that really quickly. They're running the ball and carrying the ball exceptionally well. On that occasion, it was a centre clear, but again, just getting it in deep, and Thornton just drawing himself out the back. Myers was his direct opponent, just got himself ball watching, and Garlett's been up and about from the very start of the game.
The centre square clearances, the penetrating ones, where you can get the kick that goes deep into your forward 50, they really score so often.
Well, the numbers damning at the moment, including 12 of the last 13 scoring shots for the Blues. Thornton's on fire, held too long. He'll get the free kick. I think maybe Matthew McConaughey's gone home. Early night. There goes the kick long down towards full forward. Trying to punch it away. Collier loose at the back. Ooh. And had he taken it cleanly, Betts, after it came from the boot of Hardingham, he was goalward bound.
Basic numbers, plays the ball Contested marks too. Carlton been really good in the air.
Hill's in front, reaching over the top. Warnock. Jump puts the body in. Enjoyed that as he fell on Hocking. Got a hand pass forward. Garlett only as far as Heppel. Gives it across to Monfries. Monfries out of the back pocket. Taken out there though by Joseph. Will it be 50? Joseph had every reason to think he'd mark the footy.
That's good umpiring, I reckon, because it's not deliberate play on, and so often those kind of situations get the 50-metre penalty.
Yeah.
But I think that's good common sense umpiring.
Pushes there, you see the hands, the extension of the arm, and Joseph certainly wouldn't have heard the whistle with the crowd that's building here today.
Seems a long time ago since Collier had that shot on goal. Ryder at the back. Gibbs, that's a good tackle, he's gone. So Monfries plays it on to Zaharakis and off a step. Now Davey lurking here, trapped it cleverly. Jetta with him. Can they crash and bash here? Now can Jetta get the ball back? Worried out of it by Dygan. Jamison, he is moving well there. Then down the line, that ball's still in. Fletcher toe poked it out. Hill back to Fletcher. And Fletcher out of bounds, a boundary throw in.
Just out. As Carlton won that ball deep inside their defensive forward 50, it was a weight of numbers. It was 4-on-2. They were always going to search the ball forward.
Well, look at that scoreboard. You realise how important it is for the Bombers to get the next goal. Hocking is the third man up.
Had the right idea. Judd's got the footy though. He had to make contact with the footy. Hocking, well done by Davey. Applied some pressure there on Murphy. Murphy gets it back though. Hurried kick. This one goes close to the boundary line. Garlett, Grease lightning Garlett, slips, sends a high ball inside the forward 50. Simpson will hang. Oh, what a mark! I was going to say Simpson would hang off the pack and maybe crumb it. Well, didn't get the chance. What a wonderful mark by Monfries. Goes to Hocking, who moments ago jumped third man up, didn't get it cleanly, and as a result, lurking on the ground, Judd was free.
He also sunk a knee right into Hill, I reckon, who didn't necessarily appreciate that.
As we wouldn't. Close to the boundary line from Watson, fisted away by Warnock. Camped in front, escorted back across the line. Collier bounces off the ropes.
Let's have a walking over. Give him the ball.
As they say in the classics, I'd like to see that again.
Tough call, isn't it? Because he's been corralled, and what else can he really do there? He's trying to avoid the tackle, but Hardingham belts the ball over the line. Hardingham's struggling. Tim Watson. Tim.
Well, the Bombers need more from their small forwards. At this stage, Remus, Davey and also Jett have had 5 touches between them. Yaron's had 13 across half-back, so they're just not getting anything at ground level from those guys.
Well, it doesn't matter now with that deliberate call. The moment has passed, but as the umpire suggesting, you've got to come forward when a bloke's waiting for you.
Makes life hard, doesn't it?
That's right.
Robinson, little kick forward. Gibbs waits for it and gets a hook on it, gets a good hook on it, and kicks a goal.
It's been good. Gibbs started the game on the bench. Went to play, gets an uncustomary roll across half forward to rack up the loose man who was Heppel because of the Robinson-Fletcher matchup, and he's just become exceptionally dangerous. What's he now? 9 disposals.
Does play a lot of roles, doesn't he? Sometimes he does a tagging role, sometimes he says he's a really good utility.
Gibbs started the game on the bench and came on to play a half-forward role to clean up the loose Essendon defender, which was Heppel, and he's had a real influence. And now he's in the middle of the ground, and Judd actually starting at half-forward and Heppel onto Judd.
Kicked 8 goals since the Bombers kicked the first 3, so completely on top. The ball comes out to Gibbs, kicks to full forward, crash and bash. Carlton first there through Walker, doesn't quite get a handle on it. Lovett Murray, Stanton, was that in the back? No free kick. Heppel can't quite. Walker slings it out wide. Benson, Judd running onto it. This will bring the house down, but he can't quite get enough on it. And Carlisle in front of O'Halpin. Stanton.
Oh, they walk!
So Stanton and Monfries playing a lot in the back half at the moment, and they are very much on the back foot here, the Bombers.
Stanton, not his best kick, bounces at the feet of Hill. Warnock, he's been outstanding. Murphy hand passes inside the forward 50. Cleared by Stanton towards the boundary line. Dygan comes over the top and thumps it away.
Just been a good pick-up, Dodd. He's so solid there, makes really good decisions. Knows when to spoil, knows when to mark.
Tim Watson will be talking to Bomber Thompson at half-time.
Warnock in front, knocks it down. Murphy again, getting a lot of the footy now. Well played by McVeigh, haven't called his name too often. Over his shoulder, Momfries, who took that wonderful mark moments ago. Releases Stanton down towards half forward, on the lead Hurley, nothing doing. And the ball ricochets out of bounds. Discipline's a good thing, but just watching the Essendon defenders moments ago, and their midfielders as well, they tracked players inside the forward 50 with a loose ball, and no one went at the footy.
Yeah, no, I noticed that also, Dennis.
Sorry, Tom. It's just when I don't notice much, and when I do, I feel compelled to talk about it. Close to the boundary line, Watson, a centering kick, and this might find the man it was intended for. Jetta tried to kick it while he was on his back, spills across to Reimers, stolen away by Laidler.
Bangs the ball out, Betts attacks it, Stanton, eyes up, decides to go long, right as the target, doesn't really get a crack at it. Henderson, Jetta pushes the ball forward, Jamieson, Scotland, Armfield had to stretch, he did it all right, he's got options, Yaram, this will be exciting, 1, 2,
all the way,
3, what comes after 3, Dennis? 4, and now run down, what a fantastic tackle. Howlett, and the Bombers might get a goal out of it. No, Dygan gets it off Watson. Armfield, Dygan in hard as well was Howlett. Catch our breath for a moment. Nothing happened in the end, but it was exciting all the same.
I think it was by 4, Bruce, that put him off. He heard it and thought he was going to get hit by a golf ball.
We found out what comes after 4, and that's holding the ball.
There's the bounce, Warnock. It was exciting. He's pleased just to be part of it. Collier, his first kick was that miss.
It's interesting whenever a player runs with a footy like that, it is exciting, but no one knows what he's going to do, including his teammates. Yep. It's beholding on the player. Once you run, we've got to make sure we maintain possession because no one can work off you.
Warnock straight down this time to Stanton. High ball down towards full forward. Getting a fist on it there was Hurley. An inadvertent fist. In front of the pack was Ellard. Diving in is Armfield. Wrestling against them is Reimers. And Reimers is not a happy camper as he gets up. Wants to go on with it with Armfield. Meantime, Ryder jostles Henderson. The umpire bounces it down quickly. O'Halpin knocked it down, but it's going against Henderson, who is continuing his battle, I think, with Ryder.
Yes, he forgot that actually Ryder was rucking and he got the body contact, which is clearly a shepherd in the ruck contest.
Yeah. Satana got very upset for a moment, thinking it was against him. No one Satana upset. It's the WWE, he'd produce a foreign object. Then again, of course, Satana is a foreign object. Here comes the kick from Ryder. They need a goal, and he doesn't provide it.
Just watching their stoppage work inside their forward 50 at the moment. They got the free kick there to Ryder. There's just no energy. There's no movement from the small Essendon forwards.
Set shots in front of the goal at the Ryder screen have been so hard. I mean, we've seen some pocket goals from Garlett and Walker, but look at 4 set shots basically straight in front of all miss. Carazzo runs his measure, kicks the ball long. Bombers have got numbers, but O'Halpin did really well there on Hill. And then quickly up, and the Blues are on here. Betts, Simpson can use the shepherd. Betts decides to kick the ball towards Walker and Thornton. It's running and running. It's a goal. It's Carlton's day.
It's all set up really by that O'Halpin contested mark. You always go back to the basis of the possession. But Reddy took that really strong mark out on the back flank wing. And then as we're seeing the Carlton midfield group are just running into space really well as they're winning the ball, making the most of it.
Carlton have had a great ability to do this all day. They get a one-on-one contest, kick the ball long. What Essendon, I think, need to do is have a deep anchor defender who can either come up, spoil the ball, take the mark, or just get an outnumber deeper, closer to goal.
there is a lack of confidence about some of those Essendon defenders and their attack on the footy. They're just so conscious of their opponents. McVeigh slips a hand pass away. Myers, Heppel, under pressure. Carlisle towards the wing. Leaping over the top of Hill was Simpson. Penalised though, and the ball will come back to Hill. So only 2 behinds in the term for Essendon. And I've got to say, within 30 seconds of each of those behinds, Carlton kicked a goal. Here's Dygan. Jabs it towards the wing. That kick was ill-directed by Hill. Now Simpson's away. Runs beyond the wing. Second bounce. Decides against having a third. Bruce was up for the call, but it goes down inside the 50. Thornton, Ellard. Oh, just misses near side, but it seems the route is on.
It's a one-on-one contest, and you're right, the Essendon defenders at the moment not comfortable.
The ground level ball keeps getting mopped up by Carlton also, isn't it? That's one, they're not getting the ball, and secondly, they're not reacting quick enough to the broken play.
So I think Ryder's eventually the target here. He's got 3 Blues to beat. Worked underneath. Well done, Scotland. Judd couldn't quite keep it in boundary throwing. So quite his first half for Judd. He's done bits and pieces, but Carlton have just...
Well, there's 7 goals in front, and Judd hasn't joined the party just yet, so that's always a great sign when your marquee, your best player, hasn't really been in the game a whole lot. You're well in front.
Warnock hasn't. He's been terrific. Howlett, quick kick forward. Henderson, early. Henderson stood up though. Yaron, Carazzo. Back they go to Jamison. Archie's back. It's looked good, Jamison. Carazzo. It's a good moment now for Essendon. Jetta on the end of it. Collier running hard. Left foot. Rolling it. Won't get there, I don't think. Or will it?
Oh, great play, Henderson.
Didn't quite. Henderson got back.
That's showing the bloke in the back of the stand. You're desperate, isn't it, when you just charge at it like that?
Outside.
It's like kicking a goal. Just saved one.
Yeah. Collier's kick, not so flash, but took a lucky bounce. And Collier wishing that Jetta would stop giving him the footy. Yaron kicks it outside the 50. Lunging at it, Ryder. Swooping on it, Walker. Judd confronted by Melksham. Quick hands, brilliantly done. Joseph feeds it forward. Around the outer side from Ellard to Walker. Walker has 1 bounce. Beckons someone to come. Well, he does eventually, Robinson. He was dropping back and then came to the footy. He's been a handful on the forward line too.
Same situation where the forward can watch the footy. The defender's got eyes for both opponent and football. Forward takes the mark.
Now for Robinson, the angle not quite as acute as those earlier missed shots from this pocket. So there's some hope if he goes far post and hopes the wind grabs it. Well, sort of. Good in theory. Betts, Murphy, Carazzo, Murphy, Gibbs. Oh, a bit stiff there. Thought it was a mark and or the arms were chopped. Could have gone either way. In fact, it was all Carlton regardless. Murphy gets through and kicks a goal. How is that for hard work?
Basic numbers to the contest. Wins games of footy when you always get... I always love watching a game on the TV. You know, the winning team tends to have more jumpers on the screen than the opposition, and Carlton have been doing that consistently for this half. That was a great example. They just followed the ball into the goal square in numbers. Great play by Murphy. Just this numbers to the footy. Just look at the Carlton players just pushing after the footy. Made a goal out of a half chance then Murphy, but they thought their way through really well. Their ground level speed and spread is just cutting Essendon up.
Free kick, you're in late, light it gone.
So
stay out, play on.
Blue player in late, and then all the breaks they can get Essendon. And Monfrey's in the front spot now. He's got to go back and kick the goal here. It's been an avalanche. They've kicked the last 10 goals, the Blues, in this match. And they've kicked 6 goals to nothing in this quarter. I feel like nothing can save Essendon right now, but they've just got to get that scoreboard ticking over a little. Ryder missed one about 5 minutes ago. Collier missed a soda earlier in the term. These have been the hard ones to get at this end. at the City end. The set shot's out in front. Nobody's been able to actually execute it and get it home. Montfrey's on 50, looking good, holding the line, and gets a belated goal before half-time. So he's got a couple Montfreys. He's been down the back a bit in this quarter. And that gives him at least something lead before half-time.
Well, it's a free kick here for an extra play or coming into the centre square late, but gee, when you go deep forward quickly out of the centre square, it's amazing how often the defence gets under pressure.
Dying seconds, Carlton hanging on, and Essendon unable to get a kick away. What a quarter for the Blues.
Warnock is there opposed to Ryder this time. Warnock has been the dominant ruckman on the ground. Ryder goes and finds the football well done to Heppel. Heppel kicks down towards half forward. Collier leads in the race. Bit of a fumble though, and the ball goes out of bounds. He wasn't going very far, I don't think, because Armfield was in his hip pocket.
Heppel pushing up onto Walker. Across half back for the Bombers.
Ryder very conscious of Warnock and grabbed him.
Holding Carlton. Hold the arms.
If you're working Walker on Heppel, you'd be heading for the goal square, heading deep and making Heppel really defend if it's actually a match-up.
It's a lovely kick for a big man. This one finds its way onto the chest of Myers, who showed good strength, got rid of Thornton. Myers feeds it back to the defensive 50. Hardingham, possessionless in the opening term. Goes back to Stanton across the ground. Some danger here. O'Halpin ghosting in, knocks the ball to his own advantage, pulls it back. Murphy set a task here. It runs free behind, putting the body in Robinson. Fletcher took him down, jarred out of there. Stanton under pressure, heads for the boundary line, needs some luck. Well, it stayed in. First part of the equation, slung out of there by Lovett Murray. Opportunity for McVeigh, and again it breaks down for Essendon, but they were under severe pressure.
Dodged the bullet, didn't they? So Carlton inside their 50. Stanton didn't get far, and then Gibbs, that's a good kick actually. He was under pressure, got the ball back into it. Now a very dangerous spot. Hardingham, that's only his second disposal for the match, and they've both come in the last couple of minutes, and they've both been handballs. Fletcher puts Zaharakis under the pump. Hardingham jut in hard with Zaharakis and Simpson.
Mentioned Kyle Hardingham before the game, playing with like a player bereft of confidence. Just moments ago, didn't attack the ball, was too conscious of where his opponent was, got his hands on the ball again and fumbled.
Bombers dropped hooker for today. They might have needed another tool down there. Right now, Carazzo, well done, just slipped the tackle, kicks the ball across the face. Thornton's been good in the air and takes another good mark.
He's been strong there. The Essendon defence has just really looked shaky, hasn't it? You'd hope that Fletcher be able to organise it, but Robinson's keeping his mind occupied. And again, just an absolute contested mark 20 metres out. He's been strong down there, Thornton.
Well, Pears is probably the key defender, and I mean, hamstring in the first quarter. As we said, they went without hooker today. And Thornton's taken 4 really good marks, kicked a goal. He's rejuvenated himself, hasn't he? As a sort of a swing man, more a defensive forward, is usually a good kick. And Carlton get the first after half-time.
That was like a swarm of Carlton jumpers in that forward 50 then, isn't it, for the previous 30 seconds? Every time an Essendon player got the ball in that part of the ground, he was besieged by a Carlton opponent. And if you keep the ball in there long enough, eventually got a chance of scoring.
Just dominating the Bombers, 97 to 71 in contested possessions, and they've had plenty of the ball themselves. The Blues tackling 41 to 34. The intensity all over the ground, certainly with the Blues.
Here's another contested mark from Brett Thornton. He's had a really, really good day, but there were a lot of numbers inside the 50 there, as Lee said before. Essendon have had no third man in assistance all day. In that situation there, someone had to come off their man and help out, third man in.
Warnock knocks it forward. Lovett Murray goes back to Hocking. Hocking, driving kick inside the forward 50. Hill was up early. Jeter a half chance at the back. Spills to Stanton, needs a good snap. He provides it, puts it through. That's better.
It's the value of the centre clearance again. That's their best bet.
This is the fourth final for this weekend, but the clear centre square clearance, where all of a sudden the player can actually have a bit of time and space, and this time it's Hocking to kick it deep. Just imagine how often there's been a goal scored from that quick entry. This time it was Stanton.
Played for West Perth in the WAFL and was actually, for most of his time there, a second stringer to Mark Seaby.
You see, it happens so often. Cruiser obviously not playing. Seen it up in Sydney with Mumford. Just time and time again, the players, when they get that one chance to have the mantle, often take it.
Wide of the pack, slipped away by Momfries. Watson in two minds. Howlett. Now McVeigh. McVeigh, penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Jamieson did brilliantly. That was the timing there. Exquisite as he knocked it down. Collier coughed it up. Murphy gives it to Yaron. Yaron kicks to the wing. Look out from behind. Thornton launched himself, couldn't complete the mark. Myers comes away, goes back to the voice. Hardingham provided it. Good kick too, finds Collier.
Collier onto the left. Hurley a target. Force forward. Jamison's played very well.
It's been good.
Dygan, Murphy. Just took his time, Murphy. Controlled it beautifully to Joseph. And then the Blues are on now. Gets the ball to centre wing. Off a step, Allard. O'Halpin and Carlisle. O'Halpin protected it. Garlett's on his bike, and it's a fast bike. Gets it to Simpson.
If you're a small forward watching at home, a young fella, just have a look at this play by Jeff Garlett. Worked so hard to get the front and square, got to the right point at the right time, and then the unselfish play to bring it back in.
Can you go and find a bottle of his speed?
Yeah, but that might be
quick,
another one.
Jeez, he can travel.
Just got to the right spot there, on the move, and then just the awareness to swing it around on the left. Outstanding play.
So Simpson with that long streak. He hasn't missed a game since round 15, 2005. Looking good, holding the line. Carlton get their 12th.
Tom, when you're playing defence and you can see the opposition midfield flooding in after the ball as it's happened today, it must be a very bad place to be playing your footy, I reckon.
Well, we saw it again on Friday night as well when it comes down in a wave, whether it be from a centre clearance. You spoke about it earlier, Lee, that when you're a defender, that one-on-one sense of vulnerability, the forward gets to make the play. And when you start to lose a couple of those contests like the Bombers players are now, confidence is shot to bits, and Carlton have got them by the throat.
We've seen a lot of forward play. I don't think we've seen one where the forward's leading at the kicker.
Yeah.
Almost inevitably the forward is leading away from the kicker and the defender is trying to defend that kind of over-the-top ball. It's sort of really 2011 footy, isn't it?
Yep.
Saw Joe Watson there involved with Andrew Carazzo. We've got to change gates beyond the boundary. And I think Joe, the skipper, knows it's almost gone. Ball up again. A lot of stoppages, and Carlton have done better at them in Maine because of Warnock. Ryder this time wins it though, comes back to Warnock, had it momentarily, lost it, throw there from Robert Murray. Scotland whips it across towards Murphy. Murphy kicks inside the forward 50. The Judster, the aerialist, goes after the football. Hand passes away to Robinson. He's in trouble. Here's Garland again. McVeigh's having palpitations. There goes the kick towards full forward off hands and across the line.
If Garland gets the ball and you haven't got your hand on him, he's gone.
Yeah.
You've got no chance of chasing him down.
And he's very good in doing something with the footy. I mean, that was a dangerous kick again. And you compare him to Alwyn Davey. Now, Davey's very quick, but Davey just doesn't have the box of tricks that Garland brings to the party.
Davey's in the right spot here, Jenna, so you've organised it again.
Amazing.
To Lovett Murray, to Stanton, to Hurley. So, switches it up. And Zaharakis had a quiet one. And that's a poor kick. Crude by Stanton, but Dygan's a tough guy. He wasn't eligible for the Rising Star, Dygan. He's 27, but he would have been in the top half dozen, you reckon?
Yeah.
At the back was Robinson, front spot Thornton. Fletcher doesn't do that too often. Was he out before he kicked it? I think No, he wasn't.
On that point about Dogan, I'd like to see that to be a genuine Rookie of the Year, first-year player.
Yes.
Good idea. Thornton's long ball in. Well, nobody went for it again, Essendon, and now Betts gets on the end. Oh, it's like a big birthday party, isn't it?
Yeah, he hasn't been part of the party, Eddie, until the last little bit. Gale's the one that's been lighting up the forward line. I always like the concept of small forwards in pairs. When you got two of them, and when you got Betts and you got Garland both in form, they just make you so quick. 5 goals between them.
Today, 2 for Betts and 3 for Garland.
That just gives you so much speed in your forward line, so much nippiness.
In big finals, you just need to be hard to play against there. Kyle Hardingham wouldn't want to have another look at that one. Just caught himself in 2 minds, just had to launch at the ball, but didn't either. And that is an absolute gimme.
So Eddie Betts, 47 goals for this season. Starting the day, 27 in 14 games against the Bombers, of course, including 8 7 weeks ago. He was goalless last week, but get the feeling he might finish with a few this afternoon. Watson goes off the ground. Runnerwood's half forward, holding, and it's going to be a free kick to be taken by Stanton. Melcham getting up very slowly. He's not well. Stanton, meantime, is lining up from directly in front. Kicks from 55. It's a strong kick too. Has it got the carry? There's not much help down there for the man on the line. Henderson. Oh, that's just very lax by Carlton. 2 goals to Stanton, both in this term.
Yes, you always think they're preventable, those goal lines. I guess they were helping as the ruckman at the time. Hill's in that part of the ground. We see Murphy in the middle in that part of the ground, but the long kick in here, we see it here. It just became a wrestle on the ball. Normally there should be a 3rd man in that part of the ground. That might have got over the heads anyway, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it was our help, and he was just at the top of the goal square there. Needed to do the basics and get there on the line.
So Mick Malthouse and Luke Hodge to join us for the post-match. Stanton, 19 disposals, 2 goals. So
work rate's certainly been there. 11 of those 19 disposals contested.
So Watson trying to get the ball out of the centre. Tackled by Carato. We saw them tackling one another off the field a moment ago, didn't we? Don't see that too often when they go to the interchange bench.
Not that close to the bench.
So Essendon with a couple of third-quarter goals, both to Stanton, but Carlton certainly well and truly in control. Murphy has been magnificent to Simpson, straightens it up, Simpson, and Robinson's acceleration, again a factor.
Carlton forwards just totally dictating the starting points of the Essendon players at the moment. It might be a centre clearance, can get 6 on 6 or 5 on 5 or whatever it is, but can spread exactly what they want. You see it here, they're all one-on-one pairs everywhere.
We mentioned up, they've got now 41 inside 50s for 27 scoring. So it's normally 1 out of 2 is really good.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they're getting well above that.
They've had bigger stars than Robinson today, but I don't know if there's been a more important player forward or centre because of the job he's done on Fletcher. He's already kicked 1 goal. That one's not going to get there, and it's a behind. But Fletcher normally can close on somebody.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to close on Robinson. He hasn't been able to read the ball as well as Robinson today. He has been a big winner.
Myers to himself, and then he drives it outside the defensive 50. Hocking coming back with the flight of it. Murphy threads it beautifully. Gives it to Judd, who turns around and kicks a goal.
That was an inside-out torpedo punt, wasn't it?
There are no tickets left for the party. They've all joined in.
No, they've joined in now. Yeah. Geez, be good Murphy. I mean, Judd, we know what a fantastic player he's been for a long time. But Mark Murphy's the player in 2011, just to elevate himself from a very good player to one of the very, very best midfielders in the game.
This is a funny screw kick, wasn't it? Have a look at this.
Yeah, it was a quick kick that went off the boot very nicely, but not planned necessarily that way.
It's only his 3rd final at the MCG. The other 2, of course, the memorable grand finals against the Swans. He won a Norm Smith in a losing grand final Walker attacked it hard. Oh, that's a great give. And Garland, who's kicked 3, has still kicked 3.
Well, he should have kicked it anyway, but he kicked it from 25 when he should have kicked it from about 15. I mean, you've got to run to as close to goal as you can. When you think with his speed, he's not going to get picked up from behind.
McVeigh looks really tight in the groins. Well, Judd makes a contest.
Slips it away to Garland. Goes to Gibbs, who turns round and kicks another. Oh, this is humiliating now for a proud football club.
Yes, it's interesting times when you get into the knockout part of the year and all of a sudden one side just gets completely on top. Gee, it's hard work for the team that's losing. All of a sudden their hope is gone.
Out wide, Thornton's been good. Lovett Murray short.
Finds Watson, 55 metres out. His standards pretty quiet. Goes looking for Ryder. Difficult one to take. It was coming in very quickly. Hurley did very nicely. Shrugged off a would-be tackler. Gave it to Zaharakis on his knees. Melksham. More pain for him. Well done, Yaron. Gibbs. Laidler hugs the boundary with a kick. Thornton trying to work in front. He brings the grimaces to Thornton. He's got the full repertoire and the ball bounced out of bounds. Very expressive play. Dustin Fletcher. Seen a lot of finals football. Murphy dragged down. Howlett hasn't seen a lot of it to Collier. 55 metres out. Centering kick. You wouldn't like to have backed Jetta there. It was outnumbered 3-on-1. Opportunity for Yaron in the back. No, play goes on. Opportunity for Watson. Brilliant. Collier kicks a goal. Well done, Joe.
One of the things I reckon about today's game that's really been good for, looks like Carlton are going to win today, but going in, Jamison has actually looked like the Jamison before injury early in the year. He's, when we were wondering whether he'd actually even get out there, he's moved really well.
Warnock decisively. Judd missed it. Not so there with Murphy, though. Gave it to Simpson around the outer side. Look at Murphy. He was involved moments ago at the stoppage. He's up contesting the next ball. Heppel across towards a teammate there in Howlett, but he misses Hill. All the H's. And the ball goes out of bounds. One more help is applicable.
As he hit out, seeing Warnock completely dominating in the air. Halpin's and 11 hit outs to advantage. They're the ones that really count.
Hill wins it this time. Murphy again.
Having just another stellar day, Murphy. Thornton, now Fletcher. Robinson are with him. Myers caught up. Good tackle by Garland. Again, that quickness the problem, and then Garland drills it to Scotland.
Garland's field kicking is outstanding. A couple of his shots from goal from the pocket, he's drilled them to keep it low out of the wind. But you look at this one here, just got the ball 60 out and dropped it straight into, here's the pressure here, and he provides that great pressure, but the kick into Scotland is just really impressive. Bang, 2 steps, no chance.
He's the only 30-plus player out there for the Blues today at 31. Played in a couple of grand finals against Lethal's Lions when he was a Collingwood player. An 0-2 and 0-3, and that one always to the near side. But I don't think he's had a better season this year,
Very good, very good.
He has been so consistent.
He plays sort of bit of half forward, bit of wing, bit of half-back flank. He has had a lot of variety to the positions he can play.
Fletcher to himself, then comes away, kicks outside the defensive 50. Halpin gave away a free kick. Hill will get the free. Interesting now, Murphy's up to 26 possessions. In his last game had 36. 4th time in his career he's had 36. Ball comes across towards Watson, and that 36 one shy of his career high. Zaharakis got it from Collier. Lovett Murray. Terrific by Scotland, gave a wonderful contest. Hurley finds a way through. Henderson will find this ball just to his liking.
Tougher mark than that actually looks that one, the ball swirling up when you're sitting under it by yourself.
A lot of time to think too, Tommy, as the ball comes outside the defensive 50 and Howlett.
Kicked his boot off, Dennis. He's going without the boot.
out of good experience. He goes in short, and the mark is taken by Scotland at centre-half back.
Just needed that bit of extra purchase with the boot on.
That boot is out there somewhere, Tom.
Play on! Play on!
So, Scotland told to play on, drives it towards the outer side. Held without it. Surely Garlick, no free kick, came again. Hardingham to Heppel.
Heppel with a little dinky one into the centre. McVeigh, Lovett Murray to Ryder. They've got a bit of a war up here, Carlton. Ryder out wide, wanting Melsham. Made a contest and took a mark. That was well played. Got the fist and then got the mark on the way down. Short, Zarakis.
He was off.
He was off to full forward. Hill with strength kicks a goal.
Yeah, they've kicked their 8th goal. It's the one thing we've commented how many times Carlton have been able to run back into their forward line with the flow of the ball, but hardly remember one of those for Essendon. The Carlton defence seems to have been able to almost protect the back position.
Yep.
And haven't been turned as the Essendon defence has so often up the other end.
Okay.
That's not bad. That is Dancing with the Stars stuff.
So obviously that boot was worrying him. Nonchalantly just flicked it away. 107 to 56. Well done, Ryder. Got it down to Hocking. Hocking goes short to half forward. No Warnock in there, and that was the difference. Hurley will go from about 55. Gives it a ride. It's out to the right and goes through for a minor score. So the margin 50 points, but it feels like a heck of a lot more now. James Hird. The Bombers haven't won a final since the elimination final of 2004. And Brett Ratton in his 3rd final looking at his first win. Here's Scotland. Goes very short. Finds Henderson. It's a massive weekend of footy. Week 1 of the finals, isn't it? So much footy, wall to wall. If you want to come along and or watch it on television, I would think at his state the only fresh air some blokes get is opening the door for the pizza man. It's grabbed out there by Myers. He kicks it down towards the pocket. Going back is Henderson. Got to his move. Melsham did nicely. Melsham looks towards the middle. Picked off though by Scotland.
She should have handled it early there, Melsham. He had him shorter and loose. It's not the only mistake the Bombers have made today, obviously. Hurley with 3 behinds. Just hasn't had a chance to impose himself. So Heppel and Simpson. Just thinking of Jamison, Tom and Lee.
Free kick.
It's a free kick.
I think when Murphy was bowled over off the footy.
Reamers has been doing this for the last 2 or 3 minutes. It's absolutely
Run and push him to the ground like that.
Worry where the footy is.
Worry about winning the ball. You watch them there.
Yeah, it's on top of the frame, so he's got a short fuse, Kyle, and we know that. I'll get back to Jamison later. So Murphy getting closer to those 30. He's been arguably best man on the ground.
Your kick. You're the closest player to downfield.
So downfield, so Caracho to take the kick.
Speaking about Jamison, it's probably about now when you look at the sub also.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Would you protect him slightly now with Davies to come on for next week?
Well, that's exactly what they might be thinking about any time. You're right there, Bruce.
No!
He's done a lot of things on this ground. I'm not sure if he's ever been that high. What a mark. Kicks to full forward. Betts, yes! Oh, this is the best party the Blues have ever been.
Betts marked against Hardingham. Now, you're not going to see that often. Hardingham, we know, jumped very good overhead. That was not a jumping mark. That was just a judgment mark, not the Judd one. That was a jumping mark. But just Betts' ability just to read the ball in the air.
Hodgie said at half-time, he said, how many's Judd had? I said 8. He said, he'll get 25. But I don't think he counted, but this has been one of them. He's up to 15, so he's on the way. Betts has kicked 2. Betts has kicked 3. And the small forwards and their captain are having the best afternoon at the G imaginable now.
Well, I reckon Juddy's previous best mark was at the MCG in front of a full house against Collingwood. He'll take that one this time, but have a good look at it here. Hocking probably didn't think that he was going to go, so he stayed down for the front and square, but Juddy said, I'll have a crack at this.
Someone told me he was a ground level player. That's what he was thinking.
And then you see the facial expressions there, and Heath Hocking says it all. Just watch him here.
Just floated up. Yeah, that point about Jamison and there's Rebecca Judd. Whether one, he hasn't had much footy, but secondly, if he hasn't had much footy, if you can give him a shortish game, it's probably helpful at this stage of the year. You're not going to get him fit overnight in one
trip
game.
to Perth also.
And Dad looking pretty happy there too. Andy from Sandy, out of the middle. Lovett Murray low down. The mark is taken by Stanton. He's tried valiantly, Stanton. Kicks down towards the pocket. In front, Laidler. Well, back-to-back, 3 outstanding marks for the Blues. Started by Judd, followed by Betts, and then he got the goal, and now Laidler, the one-hander.
Just really like the balance of the Carlton backs. Jamison provides so much, but Laidler, Dygan, Yaron's getting the run. Josie's spending some time back there. And obviously Henderson's the other one.
I reckon Laidler's spent a lot of time at Geelong watching you mark third up, Tom, and he says, I'll have a crack at this.
Yaron goes short.
Take it, Tom. Lee doesn't give compliments to
I didn't know what to say, Bruce.
Well, Tom was doing that in the premiership years, and Laidler's having a crack at it today.
I think that's a step too far. Lee Juddy is feeling it at the moment. Up very high, gets a hand pass to Walker. How slick was that across to Gibbs? Gibbs kicks a wonderful goal. You won't see better than that. Gibbs gets his third, and that hand pass was like lightning.
Been good, Gibbs, hasn't he? Started on the bench, I'm not necessarily quite sure why, but it's a maturity of a player to come on and have an impact. And Juddy was flying for, he got the taste of it, was flying for his 5th contested mark of the year.
We've seen him impose himself on the game quite regularly. He doesn't need to today.
No.
But you can just see, as we've seen so often, things aren't going great, and he just puts the foot down and finds something, and that's what's happened in the last 10 minutes with Chris Judd.
Long kick towards half forward. Off the fist. It runs free. It was a Carlton defender that got the fist to it. It came to Laidler. Dygan hard against the line. Kept it in, but really didn't accomplish very much. Melcham onto the chest of Hocking. Hocking wants to go. Puts himself under pressure. Kick will fall in short. Stanton won't get there. Henderson claims the mark, and it's paid. So Essendon still have a quarter and 5 seconds to put up with this. They're going nowhere, and they know it. (119) plays 57 as we start the final term in this elimination final at the MCG. And the winner will play the West Coast Eagles in Perth. It's a prize of sorts as the ball bounces inside the forward 50. Hill, now a throw against Hill. They got it to Watson, but didn't do it properly. Henderson, Scotland, loves it back there when he gets a bit of space. Here he goes again, Bruce. That's one. I think he's on a limit as the ball goes just beyond the wing. Hardingham knocks it down. Stolen, though, by Simpson. Goes to Murphy, a centering kick. Mark is dropped by Robinson. Goes after it. Over the football is Ellard. Trying to back out of there is Ellard. Got to his feet. That was pretty good. We'll get a bounce.
That's the new technique. Get to your feet and you dive on the footy. They'll be training that.
So Fletcher on O'Halpin deep. Murphy 30 disposals for the 12th time this season. Swan's got 15. I think no one has got as many as that through the year. Gibbs back to Murphy, back to Carazzo, and Carazzo measures it to Armfield, who runs onto it. Don't think Waite played this weekend, and I was just thinking about next week. Cruz will be the interesting one, won't he? I mean, and Cox, does he play? Because Warnock today has been so important, but West Coast ruckmen are such a key. Digans kicks a good one, and we've been waxing lyrical about Thornton all day.
Yeah. Cox is a big question mark for West Coast, isn't he? Need him.
So it'll be interesting to see whether Cruiser can come up for Perth. But this has been a good move. Thornton through this year, a swing man, but really as a defensive type forward.
He's up and about early, took marks through the middle of the ground and got the game going forward for the Blues.
He's kicked 2 goals, and that one is a good, long, strong kick. It was touched by Ryder right on the line.
Mitch Robinson, Mitch.
So Fletcher to bring it in. Decides to go straight up the middle from behind. Daigan got a fist on it. Hocking spins out of trouble, gives it to Zaharakis. He sends it down towards half forward. Nice kick. Hill couldn't complete the mark. Now they've got a problem. Sliding in Montfrey's, claimed by 2 Blues. And down he goes, and he was unable to get to his feet and back out. Talk about practicing that at training, Lee. I went to training a couple of weeks back, and I was watching a team train, and they actually were practicing running back off the mark after they'd taken a mark.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that before. It's like practicing running onto the ground, I would have thought. But there they were, you know, sort of get the ball, run back.
Now, a lot of players actually want to play on before, in fact, they're back from the mark. That's the idea of that, just trying to teach them to get back and get a bit of space.
Zaharakis fires and misses everything out of bounds on the full. I immediately left and got in my car. Walking backwards as I went, of course, I'd learned something and drove home, but I realised I was a dinosaur.
Well, we actually used to practice that a fair bit. You'd practice getting the ball back off the mark. You see Davies there warming up, and also manning the mark, the basics. Because I'm sure as a coach, nothing would give you the here it's more than kicking directly into the man on the mark.
I would love to have been at Glenferrie when Lee was playing, and I practiced running back off the mark.
Yeah.
Did it happen, Lee?
No, not then. You're right, not then.
Scotland, Ryder in a good spot. O'Halpin, Walker, draws it to Murphy. And Gibbs decided to kick it to Thornton. He's become a real target today. Betts, he loves playing against Essendon. He misses 1. Kicked 8. And is that Heppel in trouble? Or is that Fletcher? Fletcher's banged into the back of Hill. And the 36-year-old would be feeling 36 for the first time this year, I reckon. He is a marvel.
That was like the Roadrunner, wasn't it? He ran into the side of a hill.
He would like to have been running backwards.
I think Mitch Robinson's coming off the ground with him. He's really keeping the tag.
Just what you want when you're feeling groggy. Pen pass comes across from Armfield. Forward they go again.
It's Murphy's first mark.
Murphy to Walker.
34 disposals for Murphy and 1 mark.
I was thinking, Dennis, about all those things they're now practicing the modern era. Back in the bad old days we were dinosaurs, you had to teach yourself to play.
Well, there comes Davies. They've finally made that sub that we predicted just before 3/4 time. And obviously Jamieson is the man that's gone off.
So Andrew Walker has kicked 1-2 this afternoon, but he's played his part. They've been so fluid in their movement on the forward line, and that is a beautiful kick. Splits the middle. Confidence is sky high.
It's a perfect day when you think about it. I mean, all the forwards have had their share. The midfields play well. Jamison's got through. Warnock's been an imposing figure. You couldn't have asked for more, really, could you?
No, most parts of the game have worked for them. Mainly because they've won the ball in the midfield contest. And they've certainly been dominant in their forward 50.
The other thing would have been if Cruiser trained this morning and trained the house down.
Yeah.
Warnock just knocks it down in front. Gibbs came off the interchange, totally un-Australian. Ball comes across towards Simpson, hooks it back. Mark is taken by Carlisle. Now Lovett Murray. Zaharakis back to Lovett Murray. Bounces off Murphy. Robinson, though, spots what he likes. He's throwing himself about on the centre wicket area, but Melcham equal to it. Goes to Howlett. Howlett, not sure what he saw there. Can't speak to that at all. He kicked it to 2 Carlton players, one of whom Laidler comes out and finds Simpson.
Hold it, Trev. Move it on.
He just compliments the midfield, Simpson, doesn't he? I mean, he's not the big star, but he plays such a good role. That's a wonderful kick to Daigan, who hardly broke his run there. They were forced back by Fletcher, who did well, and now Henderson sort of worried out of it, but Davey couldn't quite get it clear. Davies gets involved, and the ball up. All the numbers, certainly the contested possessions, the inside 50s, favouring the Blues.
Massive clearances. 6 more inside 50s, that's certainly not a massive number.
And they've had 38 scoring shots to 17, Lee.
more about their efficiency when they got there. It's been terrific.
Scotland fending off. Back to Carazzo. Now the Bombers with a chance. Lovett Murray delivers to full forward. Laidler holds his ground.
Been a very good player today. Laidler, 14 disposals, 6 of those contested, but just being able to play tall and small on that occasion on Hill. Fantastic pickup.
You must have trained a lot with him. I mean, he's never quite... Oh, he only played 2 games for the Cats, didn't he, in 2 years?
Boundary throw-in falls a little bit short. Hill off the ground. Good effort, gets a goal. David Hill, well done.
Bit of seeing out time now, isn't it? Who knows they're gone? Brett Ratton's thinking about next week. It's a seeing out time.
Obviously, the Bombers had a pretty dirty day. Lee, as a coach, what do you want to see the remaining 10 minutes?
Oh, in all honesty, you'd like to see fight. That's what you want. But, you know, in all real terms, when hope's gone, energy tends to disappear as well. It really is tough times to get much at all out of it, really.
Carazzo, well done Walker. Just couldn't quite get the handle on it, O'Halpin. Stanton had it smothered by O'Halpin, who is such a combatant. Garlett, who was thrilling earlier in the match. Betts, brilliantly done. Used his body. Gibbs, can he get it? Betts has got it. He's got 4. I reckon it's Betts has got 4.
Yeah, the ball was tackled out of Gibbs's hands, and Eddie was just there.
Looked like Gibbs had the Rugby World Cup fever going on there. He was going for the try.
Slippery little suckers. That's what Pepple called them. I tell you, he summed them up perfectly.
They are exactly what they are.
He's been good, Gibbs. Played a role. I mean, it's not unkind to say he's a role player. He certainly is. Just chasing after footy. Great effort here from Gibbs, having a fantastic afternoon, and just that's an opportunistic goal. Opens up the debate. There's a lot of debate at the moment about Brendan Favola and the role of the key forward, but that spread of goals you mentioned before, Bruce, with Walker, Betts and Garlett, you've got to be multi-dimensional.
Does really sum up Essendon's week, doesn't it? Betts have given them fits.
Garlett, Jeff Garlett.
Garlett's got the footy. He's about 55 metres out. So they're lining up down there on the forward line.
Kicks it quite low usually, Garlett, and a little bit into the bruise. That's probably the kicking action. They've got a chance from here.
In he comes. 55 metres out. It's low, it's flat, it's not far.
Good pass.
I shouldn't laugh. It was as if he was on the springboard, Kyle Hardingham, in front that didn't spring.
He's had a good year, Kyle Hardingham, playing in defence, but today will be a day that he could do without.
So Walker's got the football, lining up his third. On the same line, but a lot closer to his previous goal. You'd back him in from here, and he puts it through.
Well, you mentioned the rope-a-dope before with Kate Simpson. I think that's the rope-a-dope by Walker. He just said, no, you let that one go, Kyle.
It's not. It's coming. The Kyle Hardingham matchup on Eddie Betts. I mean, he's done a reasonable job on Eddie Betts, but I'm not sure whether it stops him going for the ball in the air, which is what he likes to do.
Yeah.
So he's second-guessing himself.
Here's the incident with Bryce Gibbs. Landed heavily on that shoulder. He came straight off the ground, went straight down into the race. Probably an AC joint. You can see him there holding it. Probably not too bad, but he did go down the rooms. He's there with the doc now.
Carlton within 2 goals of their greatest ever win in a final. That was 80 years ago against Collingwood in 1931, after Collingwood had won 4 consecutive premierships. So the Blues lead by 77 here. And it does set up a great match up next week. On the road, they've got a very interesting record in the Judd era. Over the top out. Collingwood and Carlton, the only unbeaten teams on the road this year. They're 4-0. Since Judd's come to the club, they're 13-8. And prior to Judd getting there, they were 1 out of 29 on the road. I mean, that was when they were a bad team. We know that. But they have travelled pretty well. Judd with a hip and shoulder on Milsham. So Juddy back at Subiaco, eh? Carlton have been magnificent today. Robinson, throw was it?
You mentioned Judd. Heath Hocking is a player from Essendon. He has done the job today. Chris Judd just the 18 disposals. He's one player who can hold his head up high.
Chris Judd playing his 44th game at the MCG, dwarfed of course by 76. It will be 77 at Subiaco Oval from his days with the West Coast Eagles. Henderson dropping back, takes the mark. Garland outmanoeuvred there by Zaharakis. So Zaharakis with the football on the other side. Interesting when you look at the minutes played. The game has gone for 115 minutes. And Randy the Ram has had 113 on the ground. So Mitch Robinson, very much a vital cog in what we've seen this afternoon. Clearly, highly valued by his coach. Here's Dygan around the outer side. Sends it to the wing. Collier battles there with Thornton. Well, a party trick. How about that? Thornton just tossed hors d'oeuvres across to Murphy.
With a smile.
Okay, that's one, Brute. And the kick from Yaron, he should have run in a lot further. He smiles, but I think they might have cured him of the bounce. That's the problem. He's still got to run in this situation.
I reckon they say a few words here. It's Murphy to Yaron. Let's have a look if we get a look at it here. And he puts on the smile.
Those little fellas now just honing their skills, aren't they, on the forward line, going through their repertoire. As McVeigh drives it to the centre square. I think Ryder will get the free kick for a push-out. So under 6 minutes to go. I think when the dust settles, Essendon will look back and say it's been a satisfactory season, Howlett, but this afternoon has been very disappointing. Hocking runs goalward, kicks, and gets it through.
Good day's work for Heath Hocking. He's had the 17 disposals. Judd's had 19. And of those 19, 10 contested. So Juddy's had to actually work really hard for his ball. And the message coming out of Essendon is they just love the way he goes about his footy.
Did have a hint of self-satisfaction. I mean, the side has, but at least the role that he's been asked to play.
That's so he should.
One of the rare good ones, personally.
Kevin Sheedy's first year at Essendon in 1981, they lost the elimination final to Fitzroy. And if history goes the same way, I think Essendon fans will be pretty happy with how it's, not today obviously, but to get to an elimination final, Hurd's first season. There's a fair bit to look forward to. Not so much in the next few hours, but that's a brilliant handball by Watson. Zaharakis, who's been one of those very good players who's been down today. Davey got it to him. Davey and Judd and Joseph. Davey held on to, should have got a free. Hill, brilliant that time, to Zaharakis. Zaharakis kicks to the top of the square. There's a bit of a shove. It's going to be a goal. Monfils has kicked 3. Oh, the up was right there.
He got away with one there, I reckon. Get another good look at it here. Great hands from David Hill to get it through. Zaharakis has been marginally down. The setup was right. You had a one-on-one. Carlton have improved. All their numbers have improved. Their culture looks like they've improved. And Brett Ratton's been a massive part of all of that.
So often the way, isn't it? The knock on a guy is you can't win the big one. Well, they've won the big one today, big time.
Absolutely.
Remember, they were anchored to the bottom of the ladder 5 or 6 years ago. So it's been a fair gradual evolution to get up into the finals and then get towards the second week of the finals, which they'll do this year.
So Betts out wide. Lee, can I, without embarrassing you, I do know that you spoke to the Blues on Friday. Was it Friday?
Yeah, was asked to have a word to the team in the build-up.
Did Ratton ask you? Was it Brett Ratton?
Yeah, well, Alan Richardson and Gavin Brown, two of their assistants, I coached at Collingwood, so we just talked about competition and finals a bit.
So Lovett Murray to Jetta, and Jetta gets a consolation. So they get up to 12 goals, the Bombers.
It's queuing the rack stuff now. Just a quiet afternoon, just the 6 disposals, 2 kicks. And I guess when you're looking at polar opposites, you've got Aaron, Davey and Jetta on screen at the moment. Put them against Scarlett and Betts. No contest, but the supply hasn't been there, the quality of the supply. And full credit to Carlton's back line. The role that Dygan and Laidler have played in there, just rolling off talls and smalls. And Joseph's played a role, Lillard's played a role, been outstanding.
Friday night. That'll be an interesting game. Franklin says he could play, but that's highly unlikely. And Sydney really rolling into some very good form. Melksham ricochets back to Lovett Murray. Howland, Heppel. Been touched off the boot. Hocking inside the forward 50. All pairs down there, but it doesn't matter. Terrific mark taken by Henderson. They didn't need an extra man. Henderson won the duel fair and square. Goes out to Scotland. Another big day for Heath Scotland. He's up to 27 possessions now. Thornton, ditto to the outer side wing. Melksham punches it towards the boundary line and it runs out.
Yeah, we all saw how Buddy Franklin looked even yesterday morning, very hobbly, but gee, some things happen in finals. I can guarantee if he plays Friday night, he won't be feeling his knee joint. One way or another, we won't be feeling it.
Well, Lee Brown played for you guys, didn't he?
Well, Michael Boss in 2000, Brown in 2004 basically played with deadened knee joints, just so there was no discomfort.
G. Walker's quick. Running bounce to the left, uses Carazzo, 48 metres out, and just another beautiful team goal for the Blues. They've kicked a few of them today.
That's just been the way Carlton have played, that ability just to transfer the ball from one end to the other and get behind the Essendon defence. They've had the speed to run on. I don't think Essendon's defensive setups are anything to write home about today. No. But so often the Carlton just got the extra player over the top.
Shows you the value
after goal.
The value of Walker. He can play as a key forward, but he was a midfielder drafted number 2 overall as a midfielder, and that's the speed you'd expect of a midfielder. He's kicked 50 goals, lays it off, but watching the game so far, it's been contested possession sides have won the game. Carlton have taken 21 contested marks. That's their season high. So the bigger the game, the simpler it becomes.
Speaking of records and season highs, 43 scoring shots for the Blues this afternoon. Their season high 44 against the Tigers. Still time enough at least to match that. Wide of the pack, Betts. Heppel floats one down towards half forward. Howell had bounced. Well, gee, took off. Awkward one. Yaron is first back. Slips a hand pass away to Scotland. Scotland to Thornton. Thornton across the body towards the outer side. Heppel tracks it back. Thornton, what an interesting player. I think some people would have been inclined to write off his career earlier this year. Well, he's come bouncing back in the best way possible as Reimers kicks a belated goal.
So a couple to Reimers. He got one in the opening term. And Essendon been able to kick 5 in the last, but the Blues have kept the scoreboard ticking over as well. So just playing out time now.
To reiterate that point, they've had 43 scoring shots out of 61 inside 50 entries. I mean, 61's a good day's work, but 43 scoring shots, I mean, that's just indicative of how dominant their forward third has been against Essendon's defence.
I know pairs went off at quarter time, but they've looked disorganised down back the Bombers, haven't they?
Just got beaten everywhere in defence. No organisation, no composure.
That bounce should come back. Just quickly, Tom, on a defender, I mean, we've seen Laidler and also Ben and Henderson go. How long does it take to become a really good defender? I mean, it's a craft that you must work at, obviously.
Yeah, there is, and I think the basis of it, Bruce, has to be the one-on-one contest. You've got to enjoy them in the first place and win them.